Hey, how's it going? And welcome to another video. This time I'm breaking down our song "Leave Them All Behind." So, if you're watching this, you probably would have watched the Soul for Sale one. This is our new track. I don't know when I'm going to put this out, so it's either going to be before or after the tune, but it's the 28th of March is when it comes out, so it could be already out by then. I'm going to try not blabber on again as much as I did the last time about Soul for Sale, but obviously I like giving a little like backstory to the songs and stuff like that, so I'll do that if you have any interest. I got some good feedback on the last one, and we might have some new fans watching this because of the song. So if I'm talking too fast, I'm sorry, it's just how I am. Yeah, this tune is a new single that we made with our friend Andy Phelan, who's on the vocals. So if you don't know Andy, I probably have a bit of a bias because he's my friend and whatever, but the reason I'm friends with Andy is because I'm a fan of him. Andy has his own band. He lives in Canada now, but he used to live in Waterford. But his own band, Chrome Yellow, and me and Clive just became huge fans of the band a couple of years ago. And just because of that, then we ended up being like, "Do you want to make some music?" So when we started making music in 2018, that's when I started learning how to use Ableton and stuff like that. I started writing songs with Andy, and like the actual produced songs were rubbish, but Andy's writing and stuff like that, vocals was insane, and it actually helped me arrange a lot better because working with vocals rather than just a blank canvas of what do you do, you arrange your song around it. Then we ended up making Miracle Mayhem with Andy, and we just ended up making this, which I absolutely love. So before I get to the song, I will just give a quick little background of the story. It started off basically, because it's like sometimes I think a lot of producers will tell you with dance music, you kind of go with an open mind of what you're going to do in terms of how you're going to make a song. Some people might be like, I have everything nailed down to a T, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Well, that's probably how some people are, but a lot of the time I work like, I might have a small idea, but a lot of the time it's like, okay, let's see what happens. You come together with a beat. Now for this, I actually did, in that case, I'm actually on about of like having an idea. I did want something where it was along the lines of like how I wanted a kind of song like that where it drags out. So I knew how I wanted Andy to sing, and I wanted his vocals, like his vocals do come in at the end of like the after the main breakdown, but I wanted Andy to only be singing in the break and kind of have that journey where there is a kick but it's filtered out and you're kind of waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's kind of everyone is standing around and but you're interested, like, and I like that kind of stuff. So to play a tune like this, I was listening to a lot of like the likes of Mira. I love Mira, how she arranges her songs, and it's kind of like they're really long but there's always something. It's kind of like even Carol Craig too, they're really long but there's always like there's something happening, you're not bored. So it's like you're waiting and waiting and waiting, but there's not a lot happening, but there is a lot happening. It's hard to explain, but I feel like you might know what I mean. But so I wanted something like that, and then that's obviously what we done, and it worked perfectly. So I was coming together with a beat. So how I started off was the drum, this. So it actually, how it started off was wanted to do stuff live. So I have changed the clip in a minute, but over here I have a micro Korg, and then I have the TR8S, sorry. I wanted to just have a little jam. It's for some reason, I don't know why, like I have my own stuff imported through, I have an SD card in the drum machine, but it never fully clicks with me to get the right kick what I like. So I was just going through and I have this ramp one, it's a necessity one from his pack. Just it wasn't the plan to use the final kick, I was just messing around with whatever, and then I got this kick. And then through the drum machine, I ended up with this. And like it's funny because I don't even up until because this tune was made a couple of months ago, and I don't even remember actually. I don't remember recording these in. So I have the hat and the percussion. So I remember the percussion, but these hats, I had no idea I put these hats in it. But it was this as a loop. It was this kind of as a loop, and then I also love this. It's kind of nearly a signature in the SX2 tracks of late, but this. I love that kind of it's like it's a closed hat, but I just put some flanger on it to kind of mess around and stuff like that, and then it just kind of gives that groove, and I love that this progression going on. So this is actually the main thing, not copying tracks. Obviously music is all inspiration and it's everyone taking a chunk out of everyone, but at the time I was really big in, I still love it, but Sparrow and Barbosa lean into Sunshine, but they have this kind of real pluck. So I love this pluck, kind of the decay and everything is kind of turned back but blipping off each other. This kind of, you hear the kind of, it's just kind of barely kind of, and then obviously like I have throughout the track, I have the automation actually on everywhere throughout the track to bring it up. And it goes back down, and I love all that. But then I came up with the chord progression, I was playing the bass, so I'll show you a clip of the bass line. Okay, yeah, so I just realised that in the video I said it was E, then A, then back to E, but it's actually EAC. So I actually totally forgot. So it goes like this. So I played on the A string, and I just kind of have my hand muting it here. So it's like. So yeah, it's just that on a loop, and then I have it recorded twice, and have it panned left and right for that bit of wideness or width. So I recorded the bass with the drums. So that's just the progression going from E up to A, back to E, and then up to B. And I just was like, fuck, I like that. I was like, I really want to do something with this. So then you kind of know when you're making a track if it's going to be something in the first kind of, like this, say, like when I came up with that bass progression and I felt straight away, okay, something's going to happen here. And you just kind of get that, it's hard to explain, you get that feeling where you're like, okay, I know something's happening here. So I just had this loop, ironically, I started doing this anyway on its own, and I got a text off of Andy being like, yeah, I'm in town, I'm home for a couple of weeks, let's make some music. And I was like, fucking yes, it's 100% let's make some music. So I had that kind of loop going on, and then I had this that I recorded in live on the micro Korg. So I'll play this for you on its own. In the actual final mix down, it's a bit more tucked in underneath, but this was really pronounced when I was making it. And then I'm just bringing up the filter. I'll show in the clip. I'm just bringing up the filter on it as I'm playing live. I took a video while I was recording this actual part. So I was going to actually bring that in when I was arranging the song. I was going to actually bring that in and have that kind of a staple of the tune. But I was like after I recorded, I was like, that only kind of fits good in a breakdown. And it was only after I got the actual vocals. So you can see it only comes into this part here, and I was bringing it back into breakdown too. And obviously it didn't stay as in the final cut of it. Yeah, so like a lot of it, and then look, I have loads of all. I'm not going to go into detail here. These are just little bits and effects and hits and stuff like that. I'm not wasting time with that. Okay, yeah, so that's kind of the foundation. So I'm just going to kind of group everything again. Yeah, so this whole section here, and then we have the clap added into it. So that was kind of the main loop, as you've seen in the video, and the bass of all this just kind of messing around. And it was just that left on its own. I left it for the day or two because I was making it just a little bit of a mess around. And then the next day I was planning on doing something. That's when I got the text off of Andy being like, yeah, I'm in town, let's make some music. So I was like, okay, I have a track for you. And it was kind of when I had, because it was because of this pluck thing that I'm on about, this progression, I had a thing in my head of straight away. And obviously I said at the start of the video about how I wanted to make a song where it drags out, but it's kind of like, it's a huge song, but it's played at the right moment. You have to have a crowd engaged to play it. You can't just throw it into a set, otherwise it loses its value. But you know, if you throw it in at a random part of a set, I feel like you need to know when to play it, like that kind of thing. Need to calculate when you're going to play it and how you're going to play it. That's kind of what I wanted in the song. That's just obviously I love the feedback, and ever since Kind Music played it and stuff like that, it's gone huge, and I love that. But again, I always say it, we always make music for ourselves first, and the rest of it will kind of flow, which I feel like it's been working so far in that sense. So but again, I just wanted something for me to play to be just like, yeah, okay, this is going to drop, this is the right moment. A killer vocal would have been the next step, and obviously when Andy came along, so this is where I get to the vocals now. So this is your main foundation because it's all built around the vocals, and I have one more thing, which is kind of the arpeggiated loop that I played on the keyboard then to kind of build up for the drop. So we'll get to the vocal now. I'm just going to play them on their own. Here's actually some outtakes on here. I don't even remember this. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. We added some guitar here, but I don't even remember this. But it was real kind of country. Listen. It feels like Clint Eastwood or something going into like Save the Day or something. Yeah, but like again, going back to what I said, kind of the minimal thing of where like all this was kind of like, yeah, it's fucking deadly on its own, but in the track it's shit, like. And we were like, no, we're not going to do that. So yeah, back to the vocals anyway. So Andy, and again, this is just Andy. Like I don't have any videos of him singing it, but he's actually recorded. This is another thing. It's not really about, look, the best money and the best gear and the best equipment obviously is class, and that's something I want to do. But ultimately, it's not about having the best microphones, the best this, the best that. It's about having ideas, having a bit of passion, and just following through on it. Andy's vocals, again, they're not the cleanest in terms of recording and blah blah blah. And someone else is going to kill me if they see it and be like, "Oh my god, you didn't do this, you didn't do that." We just used this microphone in my hand to record, cleaned it up a bit, put some effects on it, and then obviously in the mix it sounds a lot better. But Andy took about 15 minutes to write the lyrics, and then we were there to go. We had a couple of different drafts. I have it in this notebook here. Wrote it down. Actually funny because the first lyric, "The Setting Sun," I have a little Noel Gallagher figure, and I have a little box up just up there. But and when Andy was recording, he was kind of looking around, and I seen him look up. And then after he recorded, I was like, "Did you do the Setting Sun because of Noel Gallagher?" And he looked at me, he was like, "Yeah." But yeah, it was fitting. I'm gonna play this for you now anyway, and just have a little quick listen. And then it all kind of goes over. What we always do when we record with Andy is, to be honest, we do it a lot with most vocals, but always have one recorded left, one recorded right, and then one kind of center. So it just gives you that massive wide sound in a vocal. I love that. So like you can see, I have one pan left, one pan right, and then this one was just in the center, so it kind of comes in. So if you're listening, it's kind of all everywhere, but it's really clean at the same time. So yeah, that's kind of the way it is anyway. And then the vocals just kind of come back in then on a loop and on a loop. Other thing as well, I was on about the amount of tracks, because I was saying with Soul for Sale, we only have barely any tracks. 54 tracks. Oh yeah, I thought I was forgetting everything. I have one more thing. So look, you have all your few bits. I threw in some loops, some bongos and shit like that after the break, just for some more rhythm. And then I have a tambourine somewhere. And just messed around with some effects, cut up the loops and shit like that, just to add that bit more texture to it. And then I think I have kind of a sub bass underneath the recorded bass. Yeah, this is it. Then I think I should have some automation. Yes. So then it rises for the break and comes down, but then it doesn't. I just want something that kind of sits underneath the recorded bass. I think I put some EQ on it so that it kind of sits above the mix, like it's filtered out here, say. And then it kind of drops. Kind of feel that bit of heavierness in the lower. But then I was doing the same with the bass, but I kind of bring it down on this bass. You just feel that, you know. And then that brings me to the last part of the whole track, which would be this. This was actually the kind of sauce that I needed to say, okay, we had, say, everything arranged up to this point where we're about 3.5 minutes in. And when it was the second break, I was like, because the first break was a teaser of what's about to come, but then I needed that one more piece, and I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And then I was like thinking of some ideas, and then I was messing around in the breakdown, and then I started playing this kind of loop, the kind of progression loop, E, A, B. It's just the actual chords, and obviously I cleaned it up then with quantize and stuff like that, because I'm not a fully fledged keyboard player, but. And then that just goes up and up and up and up, and finally drops at the actual drop of the track. And I have a filter on it, yeah. And so the filter's going up all the way, and then it drops. And that's kind of it. And I put some reverb on it then, just for when it's about to drop, and it comes, all the mix and the decay goes up, so it brings everything wide, and then drop it down then. So that was kind of it. So yeah, so that's kind of the full track. So you have the drums, and then it went to the bass, and then it went around that, and then with Andy's vocals, the whole kind of rest of the track was made around it. So just different kind of hats. And again, I just wanted to make something that was minimal but huge at the exact same time, and I think we done an okay job at it. I'm not missing I don't think I've missed anything. Most of it is covered here, And I hope that kind of just gives you a bit of an indication to the workflow of like, it just again it goes back to that thing I was saying of like most times you hit your head and see what happens, but with this I had a clear direction of what I wanted. So the second I came together the bass line, then Andy sang the first part of vocals, and I was like, yeah, okay, I know what I want to do. I want to drag it out because a part of me was thinking, I was like, if you look here, so when the vocals come in on the second breakdown and it drops at 177, but that's 340 to 540. That's 2 minutes sitting around in a nightclub or at a festival in a space with nothing happening, or that's not nothing happening, but with no kick drum, no anything, and it's like, and it needs to be played at the right moment for the track to affect you. I think you need to be fully, you need to have the dancers fully with you for it to work. That's kind of what I wanted, and anytime we've played it, we've got a great reaction. Now that more people are getting to know the song, it's going to be one of them ones where they're going to love it straight away when they hear it. Right? You try to play new music, it's always a daunting situation because it's like, fuck, I need them to get in. But then the more you play it, the more it comes around. And then with people knowing this tune now, that obviously helps that they like the song. But yeah, so I think that's kind of everything. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and I'm going to keep this strictly to the Discord again. So yeah, I appreciate the love on this tune, and I hope when it comes out, or if it's already out, that you enjoy it. And thanks. So yeah.